Today I'm going to show you how some customers who use Spot instances manage the interruption of their Spot workloads. Spot instances provide a way to bid for Amazon EC2's unused capacity at a significant discount. Historically, customers using Spot instances have received discounts between 50 and 66% off the on-demand instance price, with no commitments beyond 1 hour. The trade-off is that your Spot instance can be reclaimed if the spot price exceeds your bid price. Over the past 3 months, on average, we have seen less than 4% of all active bids interrupted per day. Most customers we have talked to deal with interruption in two major ways. One way is to change their bidding strategy. They start by bidding higher than the on-demand price, and if their workloads are interrupted, they just restart the process. Another way is to architect their application for failure using EMR or Hadoop-based, grid-based, queue-based, or checkpointing-based architectures. Now let's take a quick tour of how some customers use these architectures. Many customers leverage EMR to speed up long-running jobs, reduce costs, or perform testing. You can run your entire cluster on Spot to reduce your costs. If necessary, you can just restart your cluster to manage for interruption. To reduce the potential impact of interruption and reduce the likelihood of losing your data on your Hadoop distributed file system, you can run your core nodes on on-demand or reserved instances and task nodes on Spot. EMR automatically restarts any nodes in your cluster if your instances are interrupted or terminated, so you don't have to do anything extra. Let's look at a real-world example. Backtype performs web crawling using Hadoop. Since their workflows tend to be fairly short, Backtype will just automatically restart a Hadoop workflow if they are ever interrupted. They have seen savings up to 66%. Similar to EMR and Hadoop, you can launch an entire grid on Spot for the maximum savings. Or you can run the master node on on-demand or reserved instances and worker nodes on Spot to minimize the effects of interruption. In any of these scenarios, you will want to build a script to automatically restart and add instances back into your cluster if they are restarted or terminated for any reason. Example customers that have used grid-based architectures are University of Barcelona, University of Melbourne, and Numerit. All of these organizations had grid-based architectures, and they just changed their logic to resubmit a bid if they needed more instances, or if any of them went away for any reason. Some customers use queue-based architectures to manage interruption. Basically, they requeue a job if it isn't completed within certain parameters. For example, some customers have a process that emits a heartbeat to ensure that instances are still processing a job, and if not, it will requeue the job. Uyala divides up its rendering jobs and sends them through ResQueue, a queuing subsystem. DNA Nexus also utilizes a queuing subsystem to perform analysis of genomic data. Both companies monitor to ensure the jobs complete, and they will automatically requeue jobs if they fail to complete because of interruptions or other types of failure. And finally, there's checkpointing. Customers that use this type of interruption management typically write state out to a persistent location on a periodic basis, such as EBS, S3, or RDS. Some customers think that they need to be notified prior to termination so that they can checkpoint prior to shutdown. However, most customers using checkpointing just set up a recurring process to checkpoint with roughly the same effect. Since we don't charge you for the last hour if we interrupt your instance, the cost to you is roughly the same. This concludes my brief overview of how some Spot customers manage interruption. To learn more about Spot instances and how our customers use them, visit the Spot Instance webpage. I hope this is helpful and look forward to seeing you in the cloud.